What's up, everybody? We are back. Krista Britton. My name's David Caldwell. Um, this is just our little monthly dialogue on what's really happening in the real estate market. It's funny, Krista, like I do business coaching for those of you who are watching this that are in the Portland real estate market. I do business coaching for real estate brokers all over the country. And the big thing we're talking about right now is how the real estate headlines are not necessarily the same as what's really happening in the real estate market. So for those of you that have watched this or want to watch more of these, that's really the goal. The goal of this is just for Krista and I. She makes fun of me because mostly me, I talk. We're giving not our opinions on the market. We're going to talk to you about what's been going on with our clients in the market. And we're going to talk to you about the data and what's really happening in the real estate market. So let's start at what's really important. Chris, I did a Instagram reel the other day about what's the single most important metric in the real estate market when you're judging the health of the market. I'm curious what your answer is. I don't know if you saw that video that I did.
No, I actually didn't see it.
Well, what would you say is like the single most important metric in the market?
Probably consumer confidence.
Okay, so we don't get to measure that, but maybe probably shows up in what I think the most important thing is, excuse me, which is what is happening with the average sales price. That's what we care about, right? Like when someone says, how's the market? Really, I think what they're asking is the market going up? Is my home value stable?
What's my home worth?
Yeah, am I building equity, right? Is the market doing what it's supposed to be doing? And we've been talking about it, right? Like despite price reductions, because price reductions exist in every healthy market, the Portland real estate market has been really stable. And in fact, basically comparing year to date through August 2020 through 2021, we had the healthiest real estate market really ever last year, like the best conditions for price appreciation. But this year we've seen 8.6% appreciation year to date. And that is a really incredible number, right? Like getting 8% on, let's say your $570,000 home, last year through this year, or January through this year, is a really incredible return, especially for an asset or something that you're going to be paying for anyway, which is housing. But we've seen the average sales price increase in the Portland metro area by 8.6% year to date from 570 to 619. I mean, that does not sell. The median has also increased by 8.9% up to about $550,000. To me, when someone says, how's the market? This is what they're asking. What's happening with the average sales price? Despite price reductions, which we've been seeing for 5 months, the market's at 8.6%. Despite a higher interest rate environment, which really we could say we've seen all year compared to last year, but really these higher interest rates really kind of kicked off in April. We've still seen average sales price growth. This is really, really important, you guys. Comments, Krista?
Yeah, I mean, so far everything you're saying with, I agree. I mean, I have people constantly coming up to me and like, oh, how's the market? I'm like, oh yeah, busy, things, things are still appreciating, things are good. And everyone then looks shocked. What?
Yeah.
What?
So we're gonna like maybe skip around a little bit today, because usually we do like new listings, pending sales, closed sales. But I think if we go from what's happening with average sales price to pending sales and talk about that, it's a little bit different viewpoint. And look, the confidence in the market, what people are hearing, all the bad news is impacting pending sales. If we look in the last 5 years, we have the lowest amount of pending sales year to date. That's confidence, right? That's certain people being scared to perform. That's people being scared to execute based on a belief that the market's going to go down. Consumer default on just regular debt, historic lows. Foreclosures, historic lows. Unemployment, historic lows. We have inflation, supply chain inflation, right? Like we have a shortage of goods, so the price of things is going up because of COVID. But people who can afford to buy real estate, like one of my clients in California today, we're talking about affordability. Unfortunately, there's only been a certain class of people in LA that have been able to buy houses for decades, right? Most of those people haven't been impacted by what's going on today. And that's sad. We have more affordability in Portland. That's why so many people move here and buy real estate. But we have the lowest number of pending sales in the past 5 years, but we have really strong, amazing appreciation. I mean, I think amazing appreciation is 4 to 6%. So the fact that we're at almost 9%, amazing. But pending sales, they decreased 28% from this time last year. Makes sense, right? Like with what's going on in the news media, that totally makes sense. But they increased from July. Why? Because I think people still want to buy homes, right? We're more used to these. We're more used to these numbers. And by contrast, because of that, months of inventory declined. And we've talked about on here before that months of inventory more defines the pace of sales. So now we're at 1.8 months of pending sales. Did I comments, concerns, Krista? I'm doing all the talking.
No, I mean, so far, I'll call you out when I need to call you out.
Okay.
But I do think
about, like, because you've had some listings recently, let's talk about like from taking a listing active to pending and how it's different this year than last year.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Last year, if I put a listing on, I need to make sure that I was available all weekend. I would advise my clients to leave town for the weekend, get out of there, keep it vacant, because you're going to have back-to-back showings. And I'd even put in the comments, all offers due, by this time on Sunday evening, and we'll review them on Monday. And Monday I stopped making appointments because I was so busy going through offers, right? Now I put a listing on, we have showings, but we have showings for like a couple weeks, right? Until, we get an offer. And then I have people calling me, but my phone's not ringing off the hook necessarily. But we're still getting good offers. They're just taking a little bit longer. And we just have to be patient.
Last time I checked, the average sales price has never been higher in the Portland metro area. Never,
yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I think like what I hear when I hear you say that is it's a normal real estate market.
Yeah.
If you're a buyer, you can go look at a house on Monday. It might still be there Wednesday for you to look at it again.
Yeah.
If you're a seller, the market took the easy button away. The franticness of the market is gone. By the way, there's lots of people that want to sell their homes that didn't want to participate in that kind of market, both as a seller and a buyer, because most of the time buyer or sellers are buyers, right? So, but if you are a seller watching this, we've had lots of homes go pending the first weekend.
Yeah.
We've had some houses take 20, 30 days. Oh, by the way, a lot of those houses were still setting record pricing for the neighborhood. We do not define success by low days on market. Like our team, we define success based on getting you as much money possible for your asset. And I think that's what people want. So should we go, let's go new listings. Let's show us new listings. So we love these like 5-year perspectives, guys, because looking at year over year or month over month just doesn't tell the whole story. This is a long-term asset, and short-term analysis is hard. So what have we also seen year to date? The second lowest year for new listings. Because why would a seller sell under these conditions? The news is telling them not to. But we have sold, year to date, we've sold over 100 homes. About half of those have been listings. We have had some clients that we've advised to take their home off the market in some very hard price points and tough markets, right? It just wasn't in their best interest. But probably 95%, 97% of the homes we've listed for sale, we have sold. because we still have a housing shortage. We still have an undersupply of what I would call saleable homes. Saleable homes being homes in good condition at the right price. I mean, one thing that's really different today versus January of this year is the monthly payment of a home. The sales price could stay the same, but your monthly payment may have really increased. The price you're asking for your home, if you're a seller sitting on the market with another agent not selling, because our homes are selling. If you're one of those sellers, your home might not be worth that monthly payment. That's a conversation we had to have with one of our sellers. In the previous market, going to this school, being by this road, someone would pay $3,000 a month for your house. But will they pay $4,000? I don't know. I don't think they will. Even if that's what the comp is.
Yeah.
So, but we still have an undersupply of housing. So on the buy side, Krista, let's talk about like, are we seeing good listings come to the market? Are we seeing good inventory?
Yeah, we're still seeing good inventory.
You see a ton.
Yeah, I'm still showing lots of great options.
Yeah, so if I'm a buyer, and I know you sell a lot in Sherwood, so I'm a buyer and I want to buy a house in Sherwood between $600,000 and $700,000. I mean, last year I'm standing in line. I'm throwing my offer in with 20 other offers. But what's it like today?
Well, I'd say even last year, I would pull up everything for sale in Sherwood. This time, I think maybe 21 houses, like townhomes, everything would be an option. I do it now today is like 76, I think was this morning, which is just crazy difference. And there's options and they're not bad options. And that price point, there is a lot more. The hardest price point, I mean, we don't have to go into Sherwood, but yeah, they're good options. They're not on busy roads. They're updated, and some of them are newer. People's lives change. They might have bought a new house a couple of years ago, and they're like, "Oh, now I got to move for a job." So I'm seeing a lot more viable options.
I think the biggest like truism in real estate everywhere or at any time is there's always another house to love and buy. We don't know when it's going to come on the market, but in marketplaces like this, there might be 10 of them sitting on the market. Right? I mean, they're there. So let's look at closed sales because closed sales are important. That is to me like it's like pending sales to consumer confidence. So we looked, pending sales year to date were the lowest year in 5 years, but not closed sales, which is odd, right? That's paced a little bit. But when I look at closed sales, what I look at is like if we look at the last 5 years, we're averaging, take 2021 out. We're just averaging about 20,000 sales by this time. It's pretty consistent every year. The market doesn't change as much as people think. What changes is the perception of the market. But if you're nervous, if you're a scared home buyer, I'm not saying to have confidence because 20,000 people have bought a house this year, but I'm kind of saying have some confidence that 20,000 people bought a house this year and in 2020 and in 2019 and in 2018. Because that is showing some semblance of stability. And that's what you want in an asset. If we're talking about looking at a house as an asset, which a house is much more than that. But that's important. I think that's important too, because in the beginning of the year, there's no houses to buy. We know that was a lie, right? The houses, things were busy, but in 2021, there were a ton of houses that didn't sell. Go back and look at the slides. And this year, people are like, well, no houses are selling. No, houses are selling. The rate of appreciation is incredibly healthy. 20,000 people have closed on homes so far this year in the Portland metro area. That doesn't include the rest of Oregon. I mean, that's a city. That is a city has moved. I think that there's some reason to be confident around that. So let's summarize, Krista, because these are so boring. And whoever's watching this, I hope I'm not drinking like a wine cool. I'm drinking a Celsius. If you think this guy's crazy, drinking an energy drink, a healthy one.
See if we get a sponsor.
What did I miss? What we miss, Krista?
We got pendings, we got closed, we got sold, we got average sales price increase year to date. I think those are all the highlights. Consumer confidence, what's going on really, I think was covered pretty well.
So I guess we'll close it out this way. What we're hearing, like the sensationalized version of tons of price reductions exist in every market. The market is adjusted so much. It's adjusted a lot from the best real estate market in history, but it hasn't adjusted when we look at like the 5-year trend of the market. And that's really important. If you're a would-be home buyer or home seller, this is important information to know as you navigate your most expensive purchase or sale, most likely. This is really important. What's the probability of sale? Because not every house is going to sell. You know, where are you going to go? These are all things that are really important in creating your strategy. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that the majority of real estate professionals or majority of real estate agents, they don't know. They don't. A lot of real estate agents know how to fill out paperwork and turn it in and get the property to close. And they can compare your house to the comp down the street that doesn't tell the whole story. But maybe you're a seller with a difficult property to sell, and acknowledging that it's difficult and then looking at the data and looking at the probability is going to help you be able to navigate and get to a successful outcome. The successful outcome of the sale might not be the outcome you want in terms of price, because your house may not be worth the monthly payment. You might have to adjust. People buy houses like they buy cars. Most of the considerations on payment, you guys. That's a big thing people aren't thinking about in this marketplace. But Krista, myself, our team, we really focus on being proficient in this piece of real estate and understanding the market, because my belief is that's way more important than who makes you laugh when they open the front door. And Krista, by the way, is really funny. She'll make you laugh. So if you want to get a hold of us, Krista's email is krista@hillshirerealtygroup.com. Mine is david@hillshirerealtygroup.com. If you want to know, sorry, I'm like 2 weeks past COVID. I have a lingering COVID cough. If you guys want to know what's happening in your city, let us know. We'll tell you. If you want to know what's going on with your asset, even if you don't want to sell, let us know. We'll tell you. Like, we will tell you. We are happy to have that conversation with you. So until next month, we're done with the most boring real estate show in Portland.
Now you can go to sleep.
Yeah.
If you haven't already.
All right. Bye.